In this tutorial in CyberLink PowerDirector, I'd like to show you how to weed out certain colors in parts of your project using a color filter. We're going to start out with a static picture here I have of a Rubik's Cube, which show you a bit about how the color filter works, especially if you know something about color theory. In order to apply a color filter, I click on my Effects tab on the left and click on Filter Color and drag it below the part I want to filter. So I have it here. Immediately you notice a change here. What happens? Well, I'll double click on the filter to see what's going on. The default focus color is green, which is same thing you have in a good green screen, because green isn't found in human pigment. So if I take the green and apply it to my Rubik's Cube, I've filtered out a bunch of colors. To see how that works, I'm going to change my range from the default of 150 down to 0. And here I have my unfiltered picture. The minute I begin to move the slider up, watch which colors drop out first. I immediately lose the blues, and then I lose the reds and oranges. And finally, the yellows are the most persistent because of their closeness on the scale to the green. So that's what happens when I use a green filter. I can change the focus color anytime I want by clicking on the box, and then I have a pop-up window with my little color picker. Let's try blue. I'll click on blue here and then click on OK at the bottom. Once I do that and I start my color range, I don't have to move the blue very far, and instantly I lose every other color. You know, this is my reds, my yellows, my greens, my oranges, they're all gone. So blue is a very effective color to use to screen out other colors in this particular example. Let's see what happens when we try a red. I'm going to use a color picker, move it over to the red, and click on OK. Now we go from here, and then immediately I lose my blues and my greens, RGB. And then, since the yellow is a mix and the orange is a mix, they're going to persist much longer, and I can make them go away, but then I start to degrade even my red color in this particular example. So red, green, and blue are the easiest base colors to use in this particular setting. Let's look at how we might use this in a real clip. I'm going to take this illustration here. I'm going to move my filter without changing it over into this clip and double click on it. And now we have a focus color of red. I don't have any application here, but let's see what happens as we begin to dial up the intensity of the effect. We move it to the right, okay, and the blue shirt disappears. And we also are starting to lose our greens for our garbage can over to the right, upper right corner, and the yellows. And so that's what we have. We lose a little bit in the skin tone up to a certain point. And if we play the clip, we find that there's a little red in here, and the other guy comes in. The shirts are let's move to the end of the clip where we can see the different colors. So the shirt color disappears, yellow disappears largely, the bluish tone here. That's what happens when so you can apply it selectively. But again, we find that in many cases in the real world, the colors are not only in the one place you want them, they're all over. And so it affects what you can do. Let's try one other example over here. I have an outdoor scene. I'm going to move my filter over here, and the filter is on red now, and so I'm going to double click on it, and watch what happens when I intensify it a little more. As I do it, everything fades out except for the fire hydrant, and eventually that even goes away. Let's try something else on this particular scene here. I'm going to change my focus color, click on it. I'll use my, actually enlarge the scene so I can see better. I'm going to click on the blue on this flag and click on OK. Now as I begin to move it up, remember blue is pretty brutal. I don't have to move far and everything else grays out. I have the blue in the sky and the blue in the flag, and everything else stays the same. Let's go back to a green here. We'll pick a green from the grass. Click on OK. And then we'll begin to move our color picker. And again, it's in an outdoor scene with lots of green, lots of shades of green. Some have yellow tones, some have red tones. The effect may not be what you want to start with. But this gives you a bit of a look at some of the kinds of things you can do by changing colors in CyberLink PowerDirector using the color filter.